So you're building a business online, but how are you building your brand and your reputation? Everyone is building online funnels, offers, automation, content, and even AI tools now. But who is actually managing your brand and your reputation while you do all of that? So here's the truth: if you neglect that part, the internet will define it for you. And worse, you might be successful, but misunderstood and even forgettable. So, you don't want that. You want to avoid all of those things. And that's why I have 7 strategic zones that help you build a brand with confidence. I've spent more than 20 years in communications. I'm a public relations practitioner. I'm a chartered PR practitioner, and I'm post grad in systems thinking. And I absolutely adore media and creative strategies, especially when it comes to reputation management. And what I've seen is this: a lot of creators and entrepreneurs are building from the outside in. And so they allow others to define who they are, posting before you've thought about the positioning, promoting before you've even prepared, responding without preparation is reactive. So I built my 7 strategic zones to change that, for you to use as 7 lenses through which you can approach any issue, any challenge. So let's walk through them briefly so you can audit yourself today. And if this is already bringing you value and you're curious, then please do subscribe to Serena's Playbook. Let's get going with zone 1, which is strategic self-awareness. Okay. Are you clear on what you stand for? And what is your method? What is your mission? And does your messaging reflect that? Or do you sound like everyone else? Who is the you that you want to sound like? Have you broken this down? How much of you is in your business and which part of you is in your business? It's really crucial to have this awareness of ourselves. Otherwise, we are planning strategically without self-awareness, without awareness of us as the brand owner, the founder, the builder. Zone 2 is about your stakeholder and your systems mapping. So who is actually watching you? Do you have a sense or an understanding of who your clients, your communities are, your collaborators, and who the gatekeepers are? And are you factoring all of this in? What are their expectations? What are their values? How are they operating within new systems? And how do you meet them in their systems? It's almost like getting into the head of your stakeholders and your audience. And it really helps to map this out. So those questions, I hope, provided useful prompts for you to audit this area. Let's go to zone 3, which is all about your risk readiness and your reputation design. Now, I'm an expert on reputation management. In fact, I look at PR crises a lot with a fine-tooth comb, with a red pen. I love looking at statements and red penning them and learning from the great communicators. And it has told me a lot about how you can say a lot by saying nothing, or you could say a whole lot of nothing when you're saying a lot. So let's think a little bit about your communications and what you put out there. What if your post goes viral? And what if it doesn't? Are you ready for the visibility and potentially the criticism? And what do you want to be known for consistently? So once you identify these and answer these for yourself, then you will be able to have a little preparation in mind. So, okay, if I go viral for that bit, what is my response? How would I reply to comments? What would I reply with? And is this what I want to be known for? This way, you are being much more ready, much more prepared. You're able to anticipate risks. It's a really useful zone. Zone 4 is your media literacy and zeitgeist awareness. And I talk a lot about this on my media literacy channel. Are you aware of the narratives that are shaping the space that you are in, the space that your business and your brand is in? And what cultural signals are there currently that your audience is responding to? Even if you're not saying it, even if you're not bringing attention to it, are you in the know? Or are you stuck in your own echo chamber or your own bubble? That's the worst thing when you are a brand or business owner and you're in your own bubble, removed from your audience and the kind of experience that they have. So, are you in a bubble or are you aware of what your audience is experiencing, what they're thinking? Zone 5, engagement system and your content architecture. Now, do you have a system behind how and why you post? And this is about being much more intentional. Are your videos, your emails, all the captions that you're saying the same thing, or are they creating confusion? As a creative person, as a neurodivergent person, I have multiple streams of outlets and income and activity, and I have to track this for myself. So I get it, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're doing a lot yourself and you're wearing lots of different hats. So are you being strategic or are you just active? I have to check myself on this all the time. It's that reflexivity that I'm always talking about. Zone 6 is your value compass and your strategic North Star. Now, this is about that core value that guides all your decisions. And when trends shift, when there are changes in your sector, if growth, the speed of growth changes, what is it that's guiding your focus, no matter what changes on the outside? So, what are the values that you always return to? If you had to make that statement about that crisis or that issue, which core value are you going to return to in order to use that as a framework through which to communicate? And so now that you've identified the values that you return to, what impact are you working toward beyond followers, beyond subscriber counts? Zone 7 is about, whew, I like to zoom out a lot. And that's why this is all about reflexivity, thinking in systems. And it's really important for us to check if we are building something that we can sustain. So, do you pace your projects or are you burning out chasing viral moments or algorithms? Have you checked in with yourself? So, zone 7 is like a checking in zone. Have you looked at all these previous zones and these lenses through which to look at your strategic planning and seen how they interlink? This is where you want to kind of sit in a very kind of zen and present way to try and float above all of this data, all of this activity, and have a real bird's eye view. And then you can get back into the detail, into the micro. Now, you don't need to grow fast. And I have to remind myself of this all the time. The main thing that you really want to focus on is moving with clarity, moving with credibility, and moving with confidence. Because when you are clear and you are building credibility, it kind of gives you that social proof, that kind of demonstrable quality. And that feeds your confidence. And so that's why your reputation is a long game. People are looking at how you have shown up, not just in a month, but over a year. So it starts with your intention. And if you're building a business and you're building online, then just know you are building a brand as well. So being intentional about your brand, applying my 7 zones will mean that you have an eye on it, that you won't be caught out. So don't outsource your thinking or forget about this area. Be the strategist behind your presence. And that's what I'm all about. It's all about leveling up your strategic thinking. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is built for creators and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and micro businesses and anyone building in public. It's for you. You can sign up at my website to get more announcements and offers and tools and masterclasses. And I actually have a reputation management masterclass, completely complimentary. You can check that out as well. And if you're ready to use all 7 zones, and go ahead, go to my site, sign up, and let's start your transformation. And I'll be right here waiting with another video regularly uploaded on a weekly basis. I'll see you in the next one.